Good morning, Flosstube. We are back for day 7 of Stitch Mania. It is Monday, May 7th at 9:45 in the morning, so I'm back here in the morning with you, ready to go with my next project. What you see in front of me is what I got done yesterday from this is called the Small House from Brown House Studios. So I got the tree mostly done, don't have the trunk done, and a little bit of the house, a little bit of outlining on the house. As you can see, I've totally changed the colors. Look, turquoise, what a surprise. I like the design. The colors are a little bit too drab for me, so definitely had to change them, and I'm very pleased with how it's looking so far. I'm going to really enjoy stitching with that color. This is actually cottage blue from Gentle Art sampler threads that I'm using on that. Yeah, I'm really thrilled with how that's looking. So that was yesterday. Didn't get as much time yesterday to stitch, of course, since we were at the Sheep and Wool Festival, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I think for the few hours that I did have in the evening, I got quite a chunk done, so I am very happy with that. Today's fun is Silver Creek Samplers Sing a Sampler series. Look, I said it that time without stumbling over all those S's. I've mentioned this on one of my earlier videos that this is a tribute piece to my mother. We loved The Sound of Music, and when I saw this, I knew that, yeah, this was getting done. This was a birthday start for me. Didn't work on it very much then, but now I am going to get this puppy done. It does not take long to do each one of these little sets, pieces, squares. They're not really squares. You know what I mean. So I don't think this is going to take very long. I know this seems to be a running theme, but as you can see, I've totally changed the colors. Again, I love the pattern. I love the design. I would have done it probably the way it was, what it was called for, but I saw, let me grab this over here. I found this. This was, somebody posted it on one of the cross stitch groups and on Facebook, and I love the colorway, the colors that she used on this. I'm afraid I did not keep track. You can see her name is Jen, but I did not note down whose this was, and I'm very sorry about this, because I would have liked to have given her credit. She used the basically Roy G. Biv to design, to figure out what colors, so red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, violet, and then she used this kind of a dark purple for the when you know the notes to sing part of it. I just thought this was gorgeous. So I'm basically copying her. So that I did not make this up myself, but I love what she did there, and so yeah, that is what I am doing. So I was going to show you, I know we talk a lot about how we start our threads and different tools we use and how we thread a needle, and you know, people talk about licking thread or not licking thread. I don't do any of that. I find it very easy to just thread the needle without really any difficulty at all. So I make sure that I have my threads lined up really well. And then I just pinch them, pull them down, and pinch them right between my thumb and forefinger of my right hand. And then I just kind of shove them up through the eye of the needle. And if I have my needle positioned correctly, now it might take a time or two every once in a while, but it doesn't take too much to just put them up through there. That eye is big enough, and thread it through. So I wanted to show you that. I'm going to start filling in the clouds on this now. I'm very excited to be working on this one the whole day, and really hope to get a chunk of it done. Where do I want to start? Let's start there. I like working, I don't know whether this will make sense, I like working down from left to right and back again better than up. using the sewing method. I think it helps me find the holes easier if I'm working down, but in this case I'm just going to work up. And I'm not even going to have to look at a chart because I'm just filling in these clouds. I have a fairly long, I didn't cut this thread apart like I usually do. You know, the floss, whenever it's pre-cut like Jen Arts does it. If I'm working over one, I will cut that long, oops, I didn't want to do that. I cut that long piece in half, so I'm not working with quite as long as of a piece, since you know, working over one, it goes a lot further. But since I'm working over two here on a fairly high count of fabric, if I remember correctly, this is a 30 count. I didn't. Look at all this cat hair. Ah! Excuse me while I pull it off and blow it away. Since I'm working over two on a fairly high count of fabric, I just left the length as it came out of the package. And did I mention, I think I mentioned this is gassed Jen sampler thread chalk that I'm using. As you can see, I bought like 6 skeins of chalk because I'm using chalk in this. Not a whole lot in this, but I'll be using a lot in Spring Jack. Plum Street Sampler Spring Jack is what's on the docket for tomorrow. And I will also be using a chunk of it in Hands-On Designs Moments in Chalk, which is also one of my Maynia starts. So I knew I was going to need a lot of chalk over the next month, or over, you know, multiple projects. It's not like I'm only going to be using it over the next month, because these projects are going to take longer than a month, right? But hopefully that will be plenty. Especially since Spring Jack, I have to look at my numbers again before I do that tomorrow. I think I decided I'd be doing that over one. I think that fabric that I'm using for that, and I'll show you that later, is also a 30 count Linda, which is what this is. And I think I decided I was going to work over one on that. So I will have to figure that out again. I didn't make notes. That's the kind of thing that I am trying to keep track of in my X-Stitch app. I showed you that video the other day of how I use that. And that's really the kind of thing that I can keep track of in there, but I did not note it down. I just started using the app when I started kitting up Spring Jack, and so I wasn't as efficient, as comprehensive, I'm not sure what the word is I'm looking for, on what all information I was putting in there. So I'm going to need to figure that out and fill that in. So Sheep and Wool Festival yesterday. The rain held off. The rain stayed to the north and west in Maryland. So the Howard County Fairgrounds, which is where Sheep and Wool is held every year, although it was overcast, the sun tried to come out a couple times, but it was overcast all day, and it was actually perfect. If the sun had come out, it probably it would have been too warm. So it was rather perfect to have it not be too sunny of a day to be wandering around outside and in and out of the barns. I did not buy any yarn. I promised myself I wouldn't. I was tempted a few times. You know, some of my favorite vendors are there. Lots and lots of gorgeous turquoise yarn. I came close, very close, in the Neighborhood Fiber Company booth. They have some gorgeous silk and mohair skeins, and I was very, very tempted to just chuck what I'm doing with this sweater that I've started, that I'm using 2 colors on, and start again with a single color so it's not as much of a hassle. But I reined myself in. There is nothing wrong with what I'm using. It will give ideas for other options for the designer to show people to help sell her pattern. So yeah, I'm going to go with it. Hope that light isn't too much of a glare. I'm still having problems deciding, you know, how to angle the light so I have enough light on the project, but it's not too glary on you. But anyways, so I did not buy any yarn. I bought some kettle corn popcorn and some sangria. There is a winery that has a booth there every year that they don't have their wine though, they always have a couple flavors of sangria. So one of their wines mixed in with some fruit. And so the two flavors that they had this year, they call them happiness and love. The happiness flavor was, I forget what fruits actually, in a black currant wine. And the love flavor was, it was pineapple. Yeah, I don't remember all what fruits in a Chardonnay. And they sell them both by the cup that you can, you know, drink as you're walking around, or a jug. Just a little jug. It's just a little tiny, like, see if I can get it, just a little, maybe a pint worth of sangria. So we bought a pint's worth of happiness and brought it home with us. Pretty cool that you can buy a pint of happiness, huh? So we will be having happiness tonight with dinner. I bought a cup of love to drink as I was walking around. The other thing I got was some kettle corn popcorn. Let me tell you, people, talk about something I'm all into. I bought a bag of it, and no, I did not eat the whole bag, but it is so addicting. It's kind of like that Boom Chicka Pop. I don't know whether you guys have that at Costco. You can get those great big bags of Boom Chicka Pop kettle corn. Oh my God. That stuff is crack. I tell my friends, I've pointed it out to my friends, I'm like, this is made by the devil. This is Satan's work because it is so addicting. It's worse than Lay's potato chips where you can't eat just one. This is like, I can't stop at half a bag. I did not eat half a bag, but I had some. That was my lunch yesterday, along with my sangria. And then I had some as dessert last night, and I just got to the point where I told Mike, I said, you know, when you see me just continuing to eat, tell me to stop. Just, you know, get me a bowl full and tell me that's all I'm getting. That is just bad. Yeah. Luckily, back to workout this morning. Today was back to our weight training workout, so that always helps to burn lots of calories, and I will be very hungry as the day goes on, but staying away from the popcorn until dessert tonight, and then I'm just getting a bowl of it. Gotta rein myself in. So yeah, it was fun. It was good seeing friends. We saw a friend that both Mike and I worked with many years ago. She is retired. Haven't seen her in a while, so we were able to, I actually didn't know she was going yesterday to the festival, and so she texted me and like, oh my God, yes, we need to meet up. So it was wonderful to see her. Took bunches of pictures of sheep. Probably on my update video I will post some of the pictures I took. It was just fun to walk around and see all the yarn. I took my friend who I've been helping to knit a sweater. She's a beginning knitter and she'd never been to the festival, so we had fun. Got to see the border collies do their work, and that's always just, it's just amazing how intense those dogs are whenever it comes to sheep. I mean, wow. And built into their genes, even without any training, they know what to do when it comes to sheep. Just really, really cool to watch. So that was yesterday. I mistakenly wore boots. I thought it was going to be a kind of muddy, or I was afraid it was going to be kind of muddy because, you know, it was supposed to rain. So I actually wore some boots. Oh shoot, wrong hole. They weren't the best choice for walking around for hours. So by the time I got home, my feet and my legs were dying. So I was very happy to just sit on the couch the rest of the evening and stitch. And that's what I did after I had my salad and popcorn for dinner. Oh my. Well, at least I did have a salad with protein on it, chicken on it for dinner. Many of you have seen my post, and well, you saw my last video about Sasha being diagnosed with diabetes. Once I get this recorded, I need to get on the phone to the vet and make an appointment to get in there as soon as possible to learn how to give a cat an insulin shot. Many of you have said it's not that hard, so I appreciate that encouragement. Yeah, we'll do what needs to be done and get the guy taken care of. We're kind of interested to see, you know, who knows how long he's been suffering from this. He's always been, well, I won't say always, but for a number of years he's been a bit more lethargic than his sister. And we really don't know how much of that is the diabetes and how much of it is just being the male, you know, alpha cat laying around thinking all of his women have to wait on him. So it will be interesting to see once we get him on insulin and get everything regulated, how he does, if his personality changes or not. Hoping so, because you can tell he's just not a very happy kitty right now. So let's see what else. Back to another Monday. The hot temperatures have passed. I think it's only going to be in the 70s today. So we're back to spring for however long here in Maryland. Let's see, Tuesday, tomorrow afternoon, I will be going up to the stitching post to meet up with Donna Ray. Oh, for heaven's sakes. I am very excited about that. And then, of course, the weekend is our trip to Lancaster. So, excited about that. I'm meeting another friend on Thursday for breakfast. A friend who is up here from Sarasota, one of the gals that I used to work with at the store down there. She came up for the Sheep and Wool Festival with her family. She has two granddaughters, twins, that she actually taught how to spin, how to knit. They are very talented, creative young ladies. I think they're maybe 12 now. But anyways, they entered a spinning contest at the Sheep and Wool, the youth level competition for spinning. And let me look up. They both won ribbons, and not just any ribbons. Where would be the easiest way to find this? Probably. Well, did she message it to me? Hold on. Hold that thought. Let me look her up. Okay. Not in my messages. Let me see if I can remember. One of the girls won first place for the, it was something like the fattest. Second place for, I don't remember what that one was. The other one won first place for the thinnest, first place for the most consistent, and best overall. So that's just awesome. And they are, like I said, they're very, very talented young ladies. So anyways, I am meeting with them for breakfast on Thursday. They're homeschooled, so they're kind of combining a lot of, I think, educational activities while they're here as well. So they're going down to DC. They're going to go up to Fort McHenry. They're going to be on their way up to Fort McHenry on Thursday up here in Baltimore. So we're going to meet for breakfast while they're on their way up there. So I am looking forward to that. So this is kind of like a really social week for me. I don't usually have, oh, I've been off screen here. I'm sorry. I don't usually have that much social activity in my life. So what that means, being an introvert, and I am very much an introvert, is that when I'm home, I will be just retreating into my little shell and, you know, not talking. Stitching or knitting and not talking. It was kind of hard. It always was really hard working at the yarn store because it would be 8 hours of intense extrovert activity. So when I would come home, I would just literally shut down and just need to be in a quiet place, whether it was playing Candy Crush or something on my iPad, or just not even reading, and I wouldn't be knitting or stitching. I would just had to have some kind of brainless activity for a little while before dinner, just to recharge, because interacting with people is hard when you're an introvert. Doesn't mean we can't do it. Doesn't mean we don't enjoy doing it. Just means we need to recharge when we're done. So I think that's about all for today. Let me finish this little row. Almost got this whole cloud filled in. You can see every time if I get to a point where I don't like the way my stitches are laying, I will play with them with my needle. So let me finish this row. And then I will show you tomorrow's. So that looks pretty, doesn't it? Move that out of the way so it's not as glary. That's pretty, isn't it? I love this piece. Love it, love it, love it. You know, it's so different from everything else I'm doing, but it's just so cute. Oh, and I also decided, so the pattern has the words, the verse, like underneath the words. And the one I showed you has it at the top and at the bottom. And I think I'm going to do it that way so that the do, re, mi, there, it's going to be in the 2 rows and they'll be all together there. And then the when you know the notes to sing will be at the top and the bottom, so kind of encompassing that. So love, love, love that. So tomorrow is Spring Jack by Plum Street Samplers. So there he is. Now I mentioned, like I said, I've been kitting this up for a while and anticipating this for a while. I just think this is adorable. I mentioned though that I didn't like the fact that the blue that they used, at least according to the picture, the blue that they used for this is so pale that you can't really see Mr. Jack very well. So I'm actually going to be using this blue. It's actually showing lighter. Let's see if I can. It's kind of that, a darker blue. More of a periwinkle, I guess. Dark periwinkle. So anyways, so I think it'll help that color show up better. And as I said, I may be doing this over one. I will figure that out and we will see what happens tomorrow. So guys, have a great day. Enjoy all your stitchy goodies and fun times that you're having out there. I'm loving seeing everybody else's Maynia progress. And let's just keep on stitching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.